Good morning. My name is Phumzile Martha Monageng from Student Counselling and Health. I'm a career resource officer based in the Durban campuses. So today we'll be highlighting or speaking about a topic that's very important: unpacking, preparing for exams, and how to effectively do that in the most healthiest way possible. So guys, before we start, we know that exams are anxiety provoking. It's something that is whereby you have to relearn and rehash 5 months worth of material into a piece of paper that you're going to be writing for, let's say, 3 hours. And that takes a lot of work. And then how would you want to go about planning for this particular period of exams as a student? You need to have a plan, and you need to have an effective plan. Then where do we start? You'll be like, okay, I've been studying, I've been going for my tutorials. Now the time will come whereby you need to sit down and write the exams, and then now you feel overwhelmed, and it's a period whereby it can be anxiety provoking. So for you to lessen that anxiousness and anxiety feeling that you might be experiencing towards preparing for exams, you need to have an effective plan. Have a timetable, study timetable. So most of the students will be coming through and asking us about studying tips. The first thing that we usually ask them, do you have a study timetable? Some will say yes, but I don't follow it regularly. Some will say no. That's where you need to start. Start creating your own study timetable, not necessarily a study timetable that's created by the university whereby you follow when you're going and attending your modules. Create your own personalized study timetable whereby you're going to be highlighting the amount of times that you're going to be spending on your studies. So this particular study timetable needs to be realistic. You cannot be putting yourself up for failure. So when I'm saying realistic, break everything to chunks. When you say you need to study for an hour, make sure that you use that particular hour to study, take a break, and then come back again. You cannot say you're going to study for 5 hours, whereby you know that your brain can only concentrate for so long. So make sure that your study timetable is realistic, it's measurable at the same time. And then if you are a person who lacks discipline, do a to-do list every day. So what is a to-do list? The to-do list, you're going to write it maybe on your phone, or maybe if you have a small journal, you can write all the tasks that you need to do on that specific day. So you may break chunks, a chapter into a chunk. You can say, I'm going to study chapter 1, section 1 on Monday. That's something that you need to do. You're going to put it on your to-do list, and every time you've done a particular task, you're going to just scratch out that particular list. So if you're doing this in order for you to have what we call accountability. So you can see, did I just waste my day, or have I done something with the entire day? So if you have not done anything, then you ask yourself why. Is it a terms of discipline, or what was happening during that day that made you not to follow your to-do list and not to follow your study timetable? Re-evaluating the workload. Sometimes we underestimate the workload that is involved in terms of studying 5 months worth of material into maybe a couple of weeks. So start early. Don't procrastinate. Do not put things at the last minute and say you work well under pressure, and by the time you put pressure, or the time you realize that you are writing in 3 days, you actually have not prepared enough. And that is just going to cause you stress, it's just going to cause you anxiety. You will have difficulties in terms of performing at your utmost level best. So if you start in advance, it will help you in terms of performing at your utmost level best. So study 2 weeks or 3 weeks prior if you can. Do not wait until the last minute. Make sure that you follow your study timetable. Make sure that you practice your to-do list. It's not something that's just going to come easy. It's something that will require you to practice. It's a habit. Eventually you'll get used to it. Do not just keep quiet. You will see when you're following this particular timetable that where are you lacking, which modules are you struggling with. This will give you an idea to be like, okay, let me go ask for help. Do not just keep quiet and not seek for help and say you will try and do it on your own until it's too late. Make sure that you do go out on your lectures, you ask specific questions, you set up appointments with them and ask relevant questions, and then you follow through. Try and always keep a positive mindset. Speak positive thoughts to yourself. Tell yourself that you can do it. Tell yourself that you have studied enough and you have put in the work, then you'll be fine. If you find yourself experiencing anxiety, some symptoms will be experiencing blackouts in exams, or maybe experiencing shortness of breath, or maybe sweating or feeling your heart as if it's racing. Those are some of the symptoms that you are experiencing anxiety or stress related because of the exams that you're going to be writing soon. What you can do is try and practice some breathing exercises. Calm yourself down, take deep breath and count to 10 slowly and slowly. This will help you to calm down and reread the questions. So if you're experiencing all these things, it will counteract your comprehension and your ability to reason in exams and ultimately not performing at your utmost level best. Make sure that before you sit down, you have all your study materials on your desk. We're doing this to avoid you having to stand up and going to look for a ruler. While you do this, your concentration will go. So make sure that you have all your study materials, your snacks on your table. If you're a person who likes to snack, make sure you have your water on your study table. Make sure that all your study materials are there. Your pens, your notepads, everything. If you're a person who uses your laptop, make sure your laptop is charged. And then you can now sit down and study. So if you're finding it difficult to still study, you find yourself wandering, or maybe your mind is just not there, stand up, take a walk, come back and retry. Tell yourself that I need to do this. This is the time that I've allocated for studying. Then you try again. You don't just go and wander with your friends. Just take a quick 5 minutes walk, come back, retry and refocus. And one tip that I can give to students, make sure that you put your phone on flight mode, because that's the one thing that's going to take away your concentration and attention, because you'll be studying and a notification will come through and then you'll focus on that particular phone for a long time. So make sure that if you can, put your phone on do not disturb or on flight mode for an hour or so. So we call this a marathon study. If you want to do this, you can even time yourself. Put an alarm to say an hour, I'll focus on that hour. When the alarm rings, stand up, take a break and walk and come back again. Set questions for yourself. This will also make it interesting for you as an individual to say, okay, I have 5 questions that I need to learn. Did I just waste my hour? Before you can actually close your book, take that particular questions, look at them, answer them without looking at the textbook or without looking at the particular study material you were using. If you are unable to do that, or you can only answer 3 out of the 5, then you can engage and see how far are you in terms of your progress. If you can only answer one of the 5 questions that you have asked yourself, then you know that you need to redo the chapter and revisit the chapter. And it's also a way to also track your progress. Make sure that all your notes are also completed. If you're a person who likes to listen in class and not necessarily take notes in class, make sure that you dedicate enough time during the day to fill in your notes. Don't wait until the last week or maybe last month to read your notes. It's going to be a lot of work. So make sure that every single day before you go to sleep, you fill in your notes of all the tutorials that you have attended for the day. Also, it's important for you as an individual to know your learning style. As individuals, we do not learn the same way. There are individuals who are auditory learners. So it means these people can actually, they learn by hearing and doing things practically. So if you know that you are an individual who is auditory learning, make sure that you spend enough time making notes and notes that are practical. If you can, tape your record yourself and then listen to your recordings later. That will help you to memorize and have all the information stored in your memory. Or if you can, explain the information to one of your friends. If you do have a friend or a study buddy, explain everything verbatim to them. That will assist you in terms of you studying practically. If there's no one, or you can just take a walk while you're walking, just rehash everything that you have learned through your study time. And then if you are a visual person who learns through visuals, make sure that you do your diagrams, make sure that you learn, your notes are up to date, make sure that you have different colors so that you are able to actually memorize the particular information in your head. So knowing your learning style is also one critical point that a student should be cognizant about, because it will also help you in terms of getting and grasping the information more quickly. So I would also discourage, one thing I would discourage is using highlighters, especially if you're only doing the content once. If you highlight and you're not going to be redoing it over and over again, chances are when you come back, you're only going to read the sections that you have highlighted. And that might be a mishap because you might be missing some other important content in that particular chapter. If you're a person that who likes to highlight, maybe use a pencil. so that the highlight does not pop up when we have to redo that particular information again. So guys, all the best with your exams. It's not gonna be easy. Thinking about it only is not gonna get it. You have to do it and do it and to practice it and do it every day. It only gets better with time and practice. Thank you.